everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all really well. If you are new here, then welcome for the first time, and if you are a returning subscriber, then welcome back. Welcome back to another sort of pregnancy installment on my channel. I'll obviously go into more detail in a second, but before we get into this video, if I could ask, if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to my channel. It's just underneath this video. You just click the subscription button, and if you want to be notified of any of my future uploads, just click the bell. I've said this in my Christmas video I've just filmed since recently being pregnant. I'm not recently pregnant, I'm 18 weeks, but recently whilst being pregnant. Oh my god, I literally, like, my breathing is a joke. Like, I literally just got up to change my dress from the one I was just wearing in a different video, and I'm like out of breath. But yes, I did go upstairs as well, so that might be why. But yeah, I have just filmed a Christmas video, which you'll obviously hopefully have seen on my channel. And I thought, because Tommy is with my mum and dad today, because it's their childcare day, I do have holiday from work because I had to use it before the end of the year. I thought I would take full advantage of being able to film some content for you. So like I said, this is more of a pregnancy sort of installment on my channel. So this one is all about having a high-risk pregnancy and being consultant led. So I thought I would have a bit of a chat with you about how that looks for me. And I thought if there are any preemie mums that obviously follow me and wanted to know maybe what it would look like second time round, this would be really insightful for them. So I've called this one sort of being a high-risk pregnancy, being consultant-led, and this is from 14 to 18 weeks. So I started being consultant-led when I was 14 weeks, and I literally have an appointment today, so I do need to film this video quickish, because my appointment's at 11:40. I need to leave the house by 11, and it's currently 10:10, and I need to you'll understand why I'm saying this in a minute. I need to go and have a quick wash, make sure everything's presentable, and get dressed into some warmer clothing, because I'm currently wearing a dress for you guys for just the purpose of filming, because I'm indoors with the heating on and it's great. But yeah, to go outside I will be putting jumpers, leggings, trainers and a coat. So yeah, I need to sort of get my bum into gear. So I am consultant led due to my first little boy being born at 31 plus 1 weeks. We still have no explanation as to why. The consultant reviewed all of my notes from Tommy, and she doesn't know. There's no reason. There was ideas that I had an infection, but when you looked into the notes, there was no infection. So really, we don't know, which is awful, to be fair. I'd rather know that there was a reason. There is no explanation, so that was, in a way, a good piece of information to have. So I had my first appointment when I was 14 weeks pregnant. So I think that was like mid-November maybe. She did discuss the possibility that I do have an incompetent cervix. They don't know, but it's something they are checking. So they had set up scans for me. So I have them every 2 weeks. And they go right up until I'm 24 weeks, so that's nearer the end of January. So I have those every 2 weeks, and then they are followed up on the same day with a consultant appointment once my cervix has been measured. So I have had one at my local hospital, and I have been to Luton and Dunstable Hospital, and I'm measuring at 4 centimetres right now, so that's really positive. Obviously I have another one today, so we'll see what happens there. But it was closed completely long, 4 centimetres. The worry is if it obviously starts to shorten, and if it gets anywhere near 2.5 centimetres, that's where they start thinking about putting a stitch in, which obviously I don't really want. I really just want to be able to like do it. So yeah, all of this was basically told to me in my first appointment. I was on my own because Adam was working and couldn't come to the appointment, and I had to go and do a vaginal swab. And I just remember going into the toilet and bursting into tears. Like, it was really, I just got a lot of information thrown at me, and some of the words that were a bit like maintaining your pregnancy and progressing your pregnancy, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, what are you telling me here? I think when I came back in, she could see that I'd got a bit upset, so she was like, do you want to see the baby? And she done like not an internal scan, what I would call an outside scan, and I saw the baby, and she then referred me to Luton and Dunstable because they have a preterm clinic. So that was my first appointment, and now we'll go into my second appointment. So at approximately 15 or 16 weeks, I had my first cervix scan. So I didn't have a cervix scan in my very first consultant appointment. The plan came from that consultant appointment. So yeah, 15, 16 weeks, I had my first cervix scan at Bedford. They measured my cervix at 3.6 centimetres, but when I went to Luton and Dunstable the day after, they measured it at 4. So one of them's wrong, but as long as it's long, we're fine. So just to give you some context, prior to pregnancy, your cervix should be between 3.5 and 5.5 centimetres. At 16 to 24 weeks pregnant, it should be between 3.5 and 4.8 centimetres. And obviously, like I said, if it goes down to near 2.5, that's cause for concern prior to 24 weeks. And around the 32-week mark, it's normal to be less than 3 centimetres because your cervix is getting ready to obviously give birth. I don't think I had an incompetent cervix with Tommy, to be honest. I would never know, but I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't think it did. Like I mentioned, if it does shorten, I may need a stitch or the progesterone pessaries to obviously help delay any preterm labour, but we're not there yet because I have only had a couple of scans. Between that, I had another midwife appointment, so I obviously told them what was happening and you know where we were at, and they said it's like seems really positive. They think that they might stop seeing me at 24 weeks if everything's okay, but they might start seeing me again at 30 weeks because I had Tommy at 31 weeks. So, but we'll see. We don't know that yet. And I had my whooping cough jab. That's not anything to do with being consultant led, but I thought I'd just pop it in here as a little bit of an update. Did have my whooping cough jab, so that's been done. Now, as well as all these appointments, I have also been under the birth trauma team at my local hospital, but I think I'm going to do a separate video on that because I think as much as it's part of being a high-risk pregnancy, I don't know, does it need its own video? I think it does, for me to explain. So I can give you a quick overview. I've had my assessment, I've been accepted as like a candidate for them. I've had my first appointment with my local birth trauma midwife, and she is actually coming to my house tomorrow, and we're going to put some more plans in place, such as visiting my labour ward, visiting neonatal again on my own, writing a birth plan, like a normal birth plan, but also writing a trauma birth plan because of how I was treated when I had Tommy. So maybe that is a separate video and I can go through that. But that is going alongside being consultant led as well. So yeah, that's part of the high risk bit, but I will do a separate video on it. So today I have a cervix scan at 11:40, and then I will have a consultant appointment straight after that. So what I will do is, obviously I've filmed this bit. When I get back, I'll probably like film an update for you, let you know what happened, what they've said. Adam is able to come with me today, so I won't be on my own. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I've missed. I do have some more appointments coming up, but I'm going to put those in a separate video, like a 20-week update. So the week, like at the end, is it Christmas week or the week after? I can't remember. But towards the end of the year, I have a cervix scan on and consultant appointment on the Wednesday. I have the preterm birth clinic at Luton on Thursday, and I have my 20-week scan on Friday. So I thought once I've had all three of those appointments, I would do like a little 20-week update for you, and obviously be able to share sort of, I was about to say midway. I don't know what midway of pregnancy feels like technically, so I'll say 2/3 of the way through. So yeah, I will share a 20-week update with you, but this was more the 14, 16 and 18-week update for you, because I am seen every 2 weeks. But yeah, I just really wanted to make this video because I don't think on YouTube there is enough reality of pregnancy and being high risk, and you know, having premature babies. You get the, you know, the perfect pregnancies and the perfect births and the perfect everything, I think, on YouTube and Instagram sometimes. So I really want to share my reality of my pregnancy, and like, I do enjoy being pregnant a lot more now than I did at the beginning, and like I feel more pregnant, which is, you know, great. I've got a bump now and I don't just look fat, but it's bloody hard and it's terrifying having to go through this. Like, people just say, oh well, at least you're being seen and at least, you know, they're looking after you. Yeah, that's great, and I'm very appreciative of the NHS for that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not coming for the NHS in this. You do not understand how hard and mentally like challenging, draining it can be going back to my hospital. Like, that place is filled with trauma for me. Luckily, where I go for my appointments, there was no trauma there, so I once I'm there and I'm in, like, I'm relatively okay. But to get there and to get past, I have to walk past the labour ward, and you know, you see the neonatal signs and you bump into your neonatal nurses. Like, that's really challenging for me. So I do hate it when people are like, well, it's great you're being seen, and I'm like, you think it's just appointments that I'm going to and it's great, and it really isn't. Like, it's great to have the reassurance, hopefully, that my cervix is still long and closed and perfectly fine, but the like mental side of that is really hard, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy. You know, I've had to accept that this isn't going to be a normal pregnancy for me, and everyone's like, oh, just relax and enjoy it because it's your last one, and I'm like, I'm seen every 2 weeks, and sometimes I have appointments in between those 2 weeks, and you're telling me to relax. Like, that doesn't work. I am high risk. You can't tell me to relax, because I would have spent most of this pregnancy in not in hospital, like an inpatient, in and out of hospital and checking that everything's okay. And yes, hopefully I'm, you know, positive I'm going to get to full term and I'm going to have that birth I always dreamed of, hopefully. But that might not be a reality for me, so I have to accept that as well. And you know, I just wanted to bring that to my channel to share with you how I feel, how it's okay to feel if someone else is going through this. You know, it's all very normal, and I wanted to share the journey with you on how it's happening for me. You know, no pregnancies are the same, so I wanted to at least try and give an insight into mine, and you might be on a similar journey. So if this helps just one person that's maybe had a premature baby or is a high-risk pregnancy for their first pregnancy, hopefully this helps you. I really hope it does. I feel like I'm doing an outro and I've still got to film when I come back, so I'm not doing an outro, but I am going to have to go and get ready. Now you understand why I've got to go make myself presentable, because it's going to be a nice internal scan. So yeah, what I do like about my hospital actually, when they do the scans before I go, is they are really nice. They do an external scan on my stomach first to check the baby's okay, you know, check the heartbeat, check the growth, everything like that. So I love that they do that first, so that you're a bit more relaxed about that side. They don't just go in your cervix and be like, oh yeah, it's fine. So I love that they do both bits for that as well. So yeah, really, really impressed with that. And can I just say as well, I am rambling, I do need to go and get ready. Alright, so far with Bedford as well as Luton, I've only been to Luton once, but with Bedford I've been super impressed with like how I've been treated. You know, that when I went in for my first cervix scan, she explained it all to me, you know, again checked the baby first and was like, here you go, this is what we're doing. When my cervix was on the screen, she was like, this is great, this is what we're looking at, and explained it, so I feel really comfortable going and doing it. You know, it's quite, once you've had one baby you don't really care about whipping your knickers off and letting everyone have a look, to be honest, but obviously it's quite invasive and you know, you want to feel comfortable when you're doing it. So I just wanted to mention that my hospital have been really good about that. It's more the maternity ward and the labour ward that I had the bad experience with, but we will get into that in my birth trauma video, I think. So I'm gonna go get ready for my 18-ish week appointment, and yeah, I will update you when I'm back. I won't be able to film when I'm in there, obviously there are other people in there, not in the, like when I'm having my cervix done, but there are other people in the waiting room. You're not allowed to film, so I won't be doing it, but yeah, I will update you when I'm back, guys, so speak to you soon. Hi guys, so I thought I'd just jump on and obviously round up this video. I didn't jump on after my appointment because I literally dropped Adam back home and went into like proper Christmas mode. I wanted to get a lot of it finished, which I almost did. I've got one present left to get, and yeah, it's just been manic since, so I thought whilst I've just filmed another video and I'm all set up, I'd come back and update you about my 18-week consultant appointment. So I went for my appointment, it was like 11:40. They were a bit late as always, but it's fine, it's not a problem. I understand, you know, the NHS and the struggles and everything, so it wasn't horrific, so it was absolutely fine. I'm just trying to remember now. So I had my cervix scan first. Well, I went in for the scan. They do an external scan first of all, so they check the baby, check the heartbeat, check that they're like moving around nicely, which I think is really nice considering what you're going in for. And then obviously I then had to get ready for the cervix scan. That was all fine. They done that. It still looked closed, still looked long. You don't really tend to find out like the details till you go back in, which is a bit weird. you're just there in my cervix and no one's really saying anything. She just said it looks long and closed, and then the report comes through, and then the consultant talks to you about it. So then we went back outside, had to wait for the consultant to be ready, and then we got called in. This is the third consultant I've seen. I've seen 3, like I meant to see 1, and this is the 3rd different one I've seen. He was really nice, had a quick chat. He just said everything looks fine, closed, long, 3.6 centimetres was on the report, so that's really good. So it hasn't really changed, which is really, really good. And he mentioned that he doesn't think I've got like, what did he call it? Womb something? Like funneling of the womb or something like that. Obviously it's just, I know it as cervical incompetence. He thinks I don't have it. If I did, he seemed to elaborate to, we should know about it by now. He'd sort of see the changes. But unfortunately, due to my experience with Bedford Hospital, I take what they say with a pinch of salt. Obviously this is the hospital that told me I wasn't in labour, and when you look at my notes, I most definitely was. And actually my trauma team, which I'm doing a separate video about, like I said, looked at my notes at my recent appointment, and she said like, you were definitely in labour. So yeah, I'm not, you know, coming down on the hospital or whatever and saying, you know, it's the worst thing that ever happened, because I'm sure there's much worse things that have happened, unfortunately. But like I said, just due to my lack of trust and believability in them, what they say I just take with a pinch of salt, and you know, we move. So he seems to think I don't have the cervical incompetency, but I'm still going to have all the scans and everything up until 24 weeks just to make sure, which I'm fine with. You know, I'd rather be, you know, safe. So that was that appointment. Did he say anything else? I don't think he said anything else. It was a really short appointment actually, because he didn't really say much. He like they checked my blood pressure and my wee, so I had no infections in my wee, and my blood pressure was fine. So yeah, that was it really. Everything just seemed fine. I always feel really uncomfortable after the cervix scan, because they're like up in there. You do feel like afterwards, you do feel a little bit sort of, oh. So I did go shopping, but I took it easy and slow. I just sort of went at my own pace, because yeah, it is a little bit invasive and intrusive, and it just feels a little bit uncomfortable after. But yeah. So next up, I will be bringing you probably my like 20-week update, I think, because when I am 20 weeks, I do have 3 appointments that week. I have my cervix scan, my preterm birth clinic appointment, and my 20-week anomaly scan. So I think that would be a good little video to give you an update on quite a lot, because I would have had 3 appointments in a row. So yeah, I will bring you that one on my channel very, very soon. All those appointments are at the end of December, so you'll probably see that early January. But yeah, if there is anything you want to see from my like pregnancy journey, or you know, being consultant led, being high risk, anything like that, obviously just drop me a note in the comments below, or contact me via my Instagrams. They are in the description box, so obviously I can look to film those for you. I'm happy to do so. After my 20-week video, I don't have much planned yet. I'm gonna obviously look into it, and you know, new year planning type thing. But yeah, I will have to start thinking about what to plan. I'll have things maybe like my baby shower. We'll be starting to get things out, so I can maybe do videos about like what we're going to use again, what we're not going to use again. Yeah, all stuff like that really. But let me know in the comments, and like I said, if you have any questions, especially around being consultant led or high risk pregnancy, then please do drop them in the comments box, or if you'd rather message me directly, then please do so. I'll be happy to answer any questions if I can. I'm no medical expert, but I can just give you my experience. So yeah, I'm gonna go now and start waffling on, but thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to catching up with you in my next one. Bye guys.